Hi, I'm Joe Herbert from Joe Herbert Realty, and I'm here today with episode 7 of the Golden Rules for Real Estate Sales Success. And today we're going to talk about the true real estate agent business model. What do I mean by that? When I first got in the business of real estate sales, my mentor, who was a phenomenal mentor, I owe him a lot. He taught me so much about the business. But he said we only have two things to give our clients, and that's our time and our expertise. And when you first get in this business, if you don't have the right mentoring and coaching, you're going to spend a lot of time trying to help people buy and sell real estate, and a lot of times you're not going to get paid. If you know how to vet the deal and vet the the DNA of the client, there's a much higher likelihood that you get paid. One of the unique aspects of this business is we're 100% commission compensation. So you could spend 20 hours showing people houses, and if they don't buy a house, you don't get paid. It's not like a regular job where you're working 40 hours a week, you have to be there 9 to 5, and every 2 weeks your employer gives you your paycheck. It's not like that. So if you waste a lot of time in this business and you don't get paid, you're going to be out of business, okay? One of the goals of this video series is, this Golden Rules is to help you with all the knowledge and the processes and the systems you need so that you can succeed in this industry. Well, over the years of, me making some mistakes with my time, I developed this business model, and it's based around what realtors should and shouldn't be doing to make sure that they get paid most of the time. You're never going to get paid 100% of the time. There'll be people that look at houses and then they change their mind and they decide not to buy a house. Sometimes you're going to list the house and the seller won't follow your advice on price or condition, and maybe the listing doesn't sell and it expires and it goes to another realtor. There's going to be properties you're going to put under agreement with buyers and sellers, and sometimes those transactions fail. They could have an inspection problem, a lending problem, an appraisal problem. Things happen. So you're never going to get paid 100% of the time, but you want to get paid as many times as possible. If you were a lawyer or an accountant and you gave your time to somebody, regardless of the outcome, you could send them a bill for your hours. But we don't have that luxury in this business. So we want to make sure we're working with buyers and on projects that we know we're going to get paid. So stay tuned, because that's what this video is about. If you follow this business model, the likelihood of you getting paid is going to go up exponentially. So stay tuned for episode 7, Real Estate Agent Business Model. So now we're going to talk about the details of episode 7, the Golden Rules for Real Estate Success. And episode 7 is the true real estate agent business model. So let's get into the details of it. And here's the actual model that I came up with. Okay, this is the real estate agent business model. It's using the MLS inventory of real estate and the PAR library of documents. That's the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors. If you're in a different state, you're going to have your state documents, which are purchase agreements and listing agreements. But let me continue. Using the MLS inventory of real estate and the PAR library of documents to help pre-approved clients with good DNA to sell or buy bank financeable real estate at or near market value. If you ever saw The Wizard of Oz, they tell Dorothy to stay on the yellow brick road. This is a yellow brick road, okay? This is a yellow brick road for real estate agents. If you try to stay within this business model when you're deciding what you're going to do with your time, you're going to significantly increase the number of times you get paid. So I'm going to break this down for you, okay? And the reason why I came up with this model, the purpose and goal of this business model is to make sure you are working with clients, property, and transactions that have the highest likelihood of closing and paying you a real estate commission. Again, we are 100% commission. We only get paid if we have a real estate closing. So the bottom line is I want you to get paid, and that's why I came up with this. I learned from a lot of experience that not every person is going to actually buy a piece of real estate and get you to the closing table. So you want to work on the ones and with the ones that are going to do that, okay? So let's break this model down, okay? I broke it down into 6 sections, if you will, and I'm going to talk about each one. But there it is, broken down into 6 sections. Using the MLS inventory of real estate is step 1, and the PAR library of documents, that's another step, to help pre-approve clients with good DNA to sell or buy bank financeable real estate at or near market value. The more of these steps that are involved with each transaction you work on, the higher the likelihood of you getting paid. So let's break down part 1, which is using the MLS inventory of real estate. Why? Because property that's on the MLS has been listed by your fellow real estate agents, and the sellers of those properties have committed in writing to pay commission to the brokers and agents who help them sell their property. The listing broker even posts on there what the buyer's agent's compensation is going to be. So you can go on there, see this property, and you know you're getting paid, okay? That's an important function. If you're trying to help somebody buy a house and it's not listed with anybody, and they say, "Oh yeah, we'll help, we'll pay you something, go sell it." I got news for you. If you find them a buyer, they're not going to pay you. How many times have people walked into your brokerage office with flyers? They're trying to sell their house on their own, and they have flyers, and they say, "Hey, here's flyers. If you sell my house, I'll pay you something." I'm not giving 1 minute of my time to anybody who hasn't committed in writing to pay me. And that's what this is about. Property on the MLS are sellers who have committed in writing to pay agents. Let's go to step 2. Using the PAR library of documents. Again, that's the Pennsylvania Association of Realtors. Whatever association of realtors you belong to, they're providing you with purchase agreements, listing agreements, and all the associated documents. When buyers and sellers are willing to sign these documents and use these documents, again, the PAR library of documents keeps sellers and buyers out of trouble. It outlines the details of a clear, structured, and realistic path to a closing, which is when you get paid. So use your documents. They protect you and they protect your clients, and they get you to the closing table. Part 3 is to help pre-approve clients. When I first got in the business, I showed a bunch of houses to somebody. They wrote an offer. They went to apply for a loan, and they couldn't get the loan, and the deal fell through. I wasted all kinds of time. I learned that lesson the hard way one time. Because a pre-approved client has had their credit, debt-to-income ratio, and income history approved by a lender. Clients who take the time to get pre-approved, we know they're serious about buying real estate. We also know how much they can afford. How many times have you been showing $200,000 houses to somebody, they go get pre-approved, and they find out they can only afford a $120,000 house? You just wasted your time. I want to know ahead of time if they can buy a house and what they can afford. Part 4, with good DNA. Okay, DNA is the desire to sell, the need to sell, and the ability to sell. DNA has nothing to do with the client's biology, okay? Because the clients with the right DNA have a much higher rate of actually purchasing real estate. And your broker should provide you with a good buyer or seller interview sheet. So before you start showing homes or listing somebody's home to sell, you should do an interview with them. So you find out about why they want to sell. Do they need to sell, or do they just want to sell? And do they have the ability to sell? And I'm going to do a video later about this DNA and where compensation comes from and all the different things you need to know about that. So we'll get into DNA later. Part 5, to sell or buy bank financeable real estate. Because real estate that is in good condition will qualify for most loan types and has a much higher rate of getting to the closing table. Property on the MLS, again, going back to that number 1 about property on the MLS, it's been vetted by other real estate agents. And hopefully they've given their seller coaching and counseling on how to get their property in shape so it shows well and sells. There's nothing wrong with helping people buy foreclosures, but a lot of foreclosures require cash buyers, and that's a much smaller pool of clients. You want to be dealing with the largest pool of clients, and those are buyers who typically use bank financing. So stick to trying to show your clients bank financeable property. Everybody thinks buying foreclosures is a big deal until they go in there and they see them and they see how much work they need, and then they're not, they don't qualify for a lot of bank loans. I'm not saying don't work with those properties, but again, properties that are bank financeable have the highest highest likelihood of getting to the closing table where you get paid. And number 6 is at or near market value. Because real estate that is priced at or near market value typically appraises and it passes approval by the buyer's lender. And guess what? It gets to the closing table and you get paid. Overpriced real estate does not get offers from buyers, or it fails to appraise and the deals fall through, or they never become transactions because they're overpriced. So that's number 6. So let's just recap that, okay? The purpose of the goal of this business model is to make sure you are working with clients and on transactions that have the highest likelihood of closing and paying you a real estate commission. And that model is using the MLS inventory of real estate and the PAR library of documents to help pre-approve clients with good DNA to sell or buy bank financeable real estate at or near market value. So that's it for episode 7, the true real estate agent business model. Thanks for watching, and I hope you get something out of this and it helps you sell more real estate. Have a great year.